With protests around the country due to poor service delivery, our next guest's venture seems very appropriate. Trevor Mulaudzi was one of the country's first black geologists who held top positions at large mining companies. His social passion, however, led him down a different path. Trevor, welcome.
Thanks, Mr. Pillay.
What's the name of your project?
My project is called School Sanitation Improvement Project, which when we add the second component is a Community Sanitation Improvement Project, which is exactly what you're talking about, that there are protests in the communities. If you see what is happening on our news, on TVs, there's always water flowing in these informal settlements, and that is all raw sewage, but not from flushed toilets, from whatever people can use in their homes to release themselves, especially at night. So we are for under general community sanitation improvement, and we are saying, let's start with the toilet, then we can tackle bigger issues, because we can't really manage service delivery before we can manage the raw sewage and a toilet. And it might sound strange, a toilet, why talk about a toilet? But we need it every day, all of us. Everybody in this world needs a toilet, and it must be clean, no matter how poor you are. You need a clean toilet. So I'm a toilet activist and a revolutionary. And I'm creating toilet angels in the schools who will teach their parents, mothers, and brothers, uncles how to use toilet paper. People are using strange things in public facilities, especially our schools. How do you wipe yourself with a millicob? Or a sock. You take off your sock from your shoe because there's no toilet paper. But I think we're a developed country. We can afford a roll of toilet paper for everybody in this country. Then we'll stop the sewage flowing in our townships, like what we see people protesting against.
But it also speaks to human dignity.
The graciousness of a nation is reflected in its state of its public toilets. How can we call people to come and watch soccer 2010 World Cup, and when they arrive at our stadium from Pulukwano or wherever, and they stop by their bus outside the stadium, Ellis Park, and the first thing you want to do is to pee before you get into the stadium. But there's no toilet, so we are undermining our intelligence.
So what does your project do to address this problem?
I start with school children. I go to the schools, I tell the children, okay, look here guys, we care for you, we love you. We want you to stay here at school because that's where you belong. That's your workplace, the school. You stay here, we'll make sure that the place where you spend most of your time awake is a safe, clean, and hygienic environment. Then you have got no excuse to be found in the street during school hours. Otherwise, we'll form policies to get automatic warrant of arrest that if we find a child in the street during school hours, he must be arrested for loitering, and then discipline him. But we can't do it before we can give them a place where they can have hygienic defecation. Our toilets are dumping our children from the schools. And the children end up being those parents who are busy burning tires in Sakile and wherever, very angry. Those were children who went through such an environment. And they're seeing it happening now on their doorstep, in front of his shack. And he gets very angry. There's a United Nations report that says people who live in feces-infected environment get very angry very quickly and are very impatient just because they don't have a safe and clean, hygienic toilet.
Tell us about your social enterprise then.
That's what I do. I'm not actually a business person. I fail to be a business person. I just want to, I'm not here for profit doing this. I'm just saying that I am also getting sick and tired of drinking tap water in my beautiful house in the city, knowing that this water I'm drinking, 90% chance is that is feces polluted. Because we don't know what is happening there in the sewage plants. I've visited a number of sewage plants. We're dumping all our raw sewage into our rivers. We're swimming in the Val Dam, I'm telling you, feces-infected dam. Hartebeesfontein Dam, I went through there. The dam is turning green. Why? We're dumping sewage there. But we don't have sewage engineers, sanitation engineers. So I'm saying I'm the first one to be a sanitation engineer, and I'm asking to be allowed to do that job.
Now, you've also managed to transport your program and the project to other countries. Tell us about that.
Absolutely. It's quite amazing that other countries, especially the Southeast Asia countries, Malaysia, Singapore, South Korea, people who are employed as a political position like a Minister of Water Affairs, Minister of Housing, those are all social entrepreneurs. They might not just know it. They look for people who have got the caring feeling for the community they operate in.
How do you interface with them?
I go there as an advisor and a consultant. I teach them how to clean their public toilets, especially in Malaysia. Now I'm going to start the same program in Singapore within the next few weeks, but in the restaurants. And I'm saying, how can you eat in a restaurant which has got very dirty toilets? What will happen if you first go to the toilet before you sit down and eat? Would you continue eating there? The state of your toilet reflects the state of your mind, whether you are a user or the owner of a toilet.
So, Trevor, how can people get in touch with you?
You can get in touch with me by emailing me at trevor@thecleanshop.co.za.
Trevor, thank you. It's important work that you're doing, an uncomfortable subject for most, but important work. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It is a complex situation, but while the country reels in the wake of service delivery protests, we need to ask, what can we do to improve our living conditions? From teaching children about photography to empowering parents and communities through sanitation and mother tongue teaching, all of our guests today are making a difference to the lives of those around them. Write to us and tell us about other social projects that make a difference. For this week, that's Inside Out.
It's very important as a South African to realize that the only way that we're going to better our society is if we get hands-on.
The core idea is to do something about the disadvantage faced by any learner who cannot use his own language as a tool for learning in the classroom.
People are using strange things in public facilities, especially our schools. How do you wipe yourself with a millicob? Or a sock. You take off your sock from your shoe because there's no toilet paper. But I think we're a developed country. We can afford a roll of toilet paper for everybody in this country.